What's up, y'all? It's Ty. In this video today, I'm going to be going over the best squad that you can build right now in NBA 2K25 MyTEAM if you are no money spent. So let's say you don't like spending money on the game. I don't like spending money on the game, but yet you're trying to have fun. You're trying to build a team to compete. Where are you? What you guys should be looking at. Now, this video is going to be very, what's the right word for it? Non-structured, because there's not just 10 guys I want to talk about. There's a long list of guys for every price range that I want to talk about, that I want you guys to know and realize. The first thing that I want to talk about, and as we dive into this, please smash that subscribe button, is if you have any hidden gem cards, you can absolutely run them. So let's say you grind out this Tuesday drop, right? I'm not grinding it out, but let's say you do, and you get Antonio McDyess or Derek McKee. Plug them in. You know, like, if you're going to grind this thing out for a free diamond today, which you can, I didn't upload a video talking about it because I don't think it's, you know, that crazy of a thing. Plug him in. Derek McKee at small forward is good. McDyess at power forward is fine. It's absolutely fine. Not Xavier McDaniel. However, you know, if you've got Xavier McDaniel, plug him in. Same thing with Dwayne Wade, right? If you've got Wade, and obviously if it's the no money spent, that's fine. Plug him in. Same thing with David Robinson. If you have any of these free cards, guys, plug and play. And so let's say you're a really big grinder. So, like, you've got all of these cards. You've got Wade, you've got D-Rob, you know, you've got the, obviously, as weeks go on, you've got, you know, a free diamond to add to your squad. You could have something like this. You know, you could have McDyess here, and you've already got a really, you know, structured lineup. And then around here, well, guess what? Then you can fill in the pieces. Boom. Backup center, plug in a guy like Naz Reid. You're looking at, you know, backup small forward, pick up Kawhi. You're looking at a, you know, shooting guard to plug in. You could plug in Chris Morris. There's just so many different guys that you guys can plug and play to help your no money spent squad out. Jordan Clarkson's really good for his overall. Let's say you can move Kawhi there, and guess what? DeMarre Carroll's incredible. You could plug him in there at that small forward position. Then if you need a power forward, a lot of different guys you can plug in. But, you know, you want to spend up, you could get a guy like, let's just throw in Kwame Brown, because I like what he provides. Boom, just like that, you've got a budget team for basically 100,000 coins, right? And McDyess obviously is free, so you can go get him. But let's say you grinded, you know, some other things. That, like, the list goes on and on of squads that you guys can assemble and come up with. But if you grind the game, it could be something like this. You know, and this is just the list. Now, again, if you don't have any of these free cards, which a lot of people don't, I mean, that's fine. That's fair. You can still use a lot of these same, you know, lineup suggestions here. You could plug in a starting lineup, let's say like this. And then guess what? If you really don't want to spend a bunch extra, plug in a guy like Josh Richardson here. Sapphire Josh Richardson's fine. I know a lot of people might not love the card. I think he is just fine right there. You could plug in a guy like Luol Deng here, who is not incredibly expensive. You could plug in a lot of different guys. I mean, you could go get a guy like Clifford Robinson. Again, not super expensive here at the 4 or 5. And then guess what? It's a plug and play. You could plug in a guy like Jeff Green. Boom. Just like that, you've got another really good squad. That is no money spent. Honestly, at quick calculations, this squad, you're probably looking right around, you know, 200,000 coins for this type of a squad, 200,000 MT, which is a lot. I'm not going to undervalue that, but it's a fine squad. And again, you can start cheaper. You know, it's not, and that's one thing I want you guys to know and realize. It's really not a one size fits all, you know, proposition. Just because, you know, I'm running a certain squad doesn't mean that squad's going to work for you. Just because you're running a certain squad doesn't mean it's any better than anybody else's. And so, you know, at the end of the day, try to find something that works for you. Guess what? If you don't have that much MT, you could plug in a guy like Yusuf Nurkic. I don't love Nurkic. I think the card is slow. But guess what? I've had success with them. You don't have the MT for Luol Deng? Guess what? Trey Murphy is just fine. You don't have the MT for a guy like Jeff Green. You know, again, there's a lot of different cards that you guys can think about plugging in, but you can move maybe Trey Murphy here and get a guy like Kelly Oubre Jr. Again, the list goes on and on. Again, just like that, you've cut the cost of this from 200,000 MT to about 150 in a big time way, just by substituting a few different cards, some plug and play options that I personally like. And that's the fun part, I think, about building these budget squads. Is it's really not a one size fits all. It's not. There are so many different cards in this game that you can look to pick up to help your squad out. And I don't necessarily love the fact that a lot of these cards are unsellable. I actually hate it. But with that being said, I mean, it's kind of a plug and play. So like I said, if you have any free cards that are good, plug them in. But if you want like a really budget option, again, I'll talk about all of these cards. Michael Ray Richardson at the point guard position is just fine. I do like Josh Richardson more than Michael Ray Richardson, but he's just fine. Obviously, Chris Morris is super cheap. DeMarre Carroll, is he super expensive? No. But, you know, he's not super cheap either, right? He's right around that $20,000 price range. And so yeah, if you want to get cheaper, you might have to look at maybe you picking up a guy like, I don't know, I'm just throwing this guy in there because I know he's going to be able to knock down shots, play decent defense. Scottie Pippen can play power forward option, budget-wise. And again, a lot of these are just off the top of my head. So I'm not even necessarily in love with a lot of these guys. I'm just thinking to myself, like, maybe that they can hold it down, right? And at the end of the day, it's all you can ask for. So maybe if you need a power forward, I don't know, because he can't, I was going to say Corey Brewer, he can't play power forward. But like Corey Brewer is another guy you can, you know, try. He's 1,000 coins, you know, if you really want to get cheaper. So the power forward is a position, like right now, as I'm looking at things, it's kind of hard to come up with guys that I love there. But again, plug and play. Find guys that fit with your squad. And if you kind of want to watch the evolution, watch my No Money Spent squad series, guys. You know, it's one of those things, like I grinded, I got Ron Artest. And that's another thing, right? If you grind these things out for these free cards, you'd have Ron Artest if you grinded this Sunday grind out. If you grinded the Sunday drop, Sunday grind out as well, you got a free Diamond or above Lunar New Year player. So guess what? If you have Anderson Varejao, plug him in. I don't love Varejao at all, but you can plug him in. And so here's really where I'm at with things is, yeah, if you're No Money Spent, you can plug in all these budget options. But guess what? If you grind the game, right? I'm just gonna, let's say you grinded last season for David Robinson, and you've started just grinding the game again recently. Well, guess what? You have Ron Artest, you got D-Rob, you got Wade, you got Varejao, you got a 90 plus from last week as well. So let's say that was Gilbert Arenas. That's who I got. Guess what? I don't love Agent Zero, but you might have Gilbert Arenas from Triple Threat, or you might have the Amy Gilbert Arenas, you know, from this week, right? You saw Gilbert Arenas somewhere. I got him from this week. I don't love Amy Gil, but he can play. And then boom, around then, you can plug in some of these budget guys. Kawhi, Naz Reid, you could plug in Chris Morris. You could plug in just a long list of different guys. And so I will say, you know, the hidden gems part of it or the random unsellables makes it pretty difficult for me because, you know, a lot of the players are unsellable. Where in the past, I'd be like, you know, sell your team and then get these specific guys. Whereas now, it's not necessarily that easy. But the list of Amis, the list of diamonds that can play for you, you know, is a long list. And I don't necessarily even love a guy like Marcus Camby, but you're looking at a Camby who defensively is pretty stout, is a guy that can definitely play for you. So again, it's not a one size fits all, but if you do have some more coins, maybe you go Camby there. Maybe you can move Naz Reid to the 4 and then go from there. So there are a lot of different things that you guys can do with your lineup. So many different things from, you know, so many different, you know, MT standpoints. And I just think it's a lot of fun right now. You know, when I'm looking at different things that you guys can do lineup wise, it's a lot of fun to create these different things. Like even the Amy Gilbert, I don't think he's perfect, but guess what? He's got a high 3-ball, high speed. He's fine. And then from there, you could plug in Kwame. You could plug in so many different guys. You could plug in Jeff Green, a guy that's on my No Money Spent right now. You can move Kawhi there, plug in like Luol Deng to start. And again, this is just me talking through some different things that you guys can do. But it's fun. And that's really what I'm trying to get at the core of this is it's fun to go mess around and build a No Money Spent squad. And so honestly, if I'm you guys, sure, it might be fun to have all the best cards in the game at all times. But you have to spend money to do that pretty consistently. And for me, what I've really noticed, and this is just me, is ever since I've started my No Money Spent squad series, it's been a lot more fun. It really has, and I'm just grinding salary cap right now, adding some cards to my squad. But like, for example, I picked up Pink Diamond Kyle Korver for free out of the locker code. There was a locker code, I've got Korver for free. And you guys might have Korver, you guys might have somebody else. I'm trying to think who else was in that locker code. There were a lot of different options that you guys could have got. But guess what? I've got Kyle Korver for free. I've got a guy like Ron Artest for free. I've got Franz Wagner for free, a guy I haven't really talked about. And if you have those cards right there, well, guess what? All of those cards are extremely good and have to play. I mean, genuinely, I like all of those cards. And like I said, if you grind level 40, you got D-Rob. If you grind in Triple Threat, you got a free diamond last week. That could be, or, you know, I got free Gilbert Arenas from 2 weeks ago. You could plug him in. You got Kawhi maybe for free list last week. Like, again, the list goes on and on with all the unsellables that you could have grinded for. But that's what honestly makes this game fun, in my opinion. Right now is, if you approach from a no money spent squad, it's fun to build a squad. It is. And no, I don't like the fact that the game is not more rewarding. I honestly think the game should be way more rewarding than it is. But if you approach from a no money spent standpoint, there's a lot of different like combinations you guys can come up with. And it's just fun, in my opinion. So that's where I'm at. Hopefully this video helped you out with so many different options. A lot of these pink diamonds that I'm talking about were available for free at some stage, like a Franz Wagner, even a Lou Dort, D-Wade, D-Rob, Xavier McDaniel again if you're grinding the game. So hopefully me talking through this has helped you guys out. That's going to wrap it up for my video. Drop a like on it. Subscribe if you are new. And as always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.